All right. Whoops. All right, so I've got my man PHONETAP here, Queens native, right? Born in Queens?
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised in Queens, all right. And actually well, Tomek doesn't count. He was born in Poland. But Gami and I were both born in New York also, so got some Queens, Manhattan in the house. So some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you tell me about how you got started in the game in the beginning? So we'll run through these quickly, even though I asked you a few of these before. So how did you get started?
So it was my the second half of my senior year in high school. I was looking for something to do besides school, and Hearthstone. It was a fun game. The animations were cool, and I always had an interest in card games, and Hearthstone was really awesome, and I got really into it.
Nice. Would you consider yourself a professional Hearthstone player?
Yes, I do consider myself. I mean, I'm currently playing professionally for Luminosity Gaming.
Yeah.
I play in tournaments. I travel to other countries to play tournaments. So yeah,
very cool. That's pretty amazing. So it's that's very cool. So it sounds like you didn't play WoW before Hearthstone.
No, I actually I guess I learned most of my WoW lore from Hearthstone.
Yeah, me too. And I still every now and then I'll go onto whatever the WoW Wikipedia to learn about Sylvanas or whatever, but it's it's so confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you balancing your Hearthstone career with you're currently in school? So how are you balancing your Hearthstone career, school, and everything else in your life?
I mean, it just takes a lot of time management, basically. Like you need to I guess there are some days where I stay up insanely late. So maybe there are days where I play Hearthstone from till 4 a.m. or something,
yeah.
and there's when and then you have to balance school because it's important for me to maintain high grades, so stuff like that. But during the summer, it wasn't a big deal because there was no school.
So, were you a better Hearthstone player when you weren't in school?
Yeah, probably. I mean, because I was more invested to the game because I don't have to think about school and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, during the summer I really played a lot and had more time to compete in tournaments and stuff. So yeah.
Interesting. Competition in the world, beating some of them, losing to a couple.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like playing at pretty much the highest level of competition in Hearthstone?
Well, okay. Well, so it's pretty when I got to go to ESL in California and meet people like Trump, Calento, Reynad, Kit Kats, those players, I was pretty starstruck. I didn't feel like I belonged, I guess, in a sense. And of course, technically I did belong since I qualified for the event stuff, but it definitely was intimidating because I was definitely an unknown person, and these guys were well established and had proven success in the past. So,
do you feel like you belong now?
Do I feel like I belong? I
think so too.
I definitely feel like if I were to play against any of these guys, if I make a lineup that's good, I have just as good a chance to beat them as any high level pro.
Nice. So, do you think that you have an advantage when you face up against somebody like Firebat or Reynad, in that you've seen them play and you actually can watch them play, you can watch them make decisions, you can see their play style, maybe you get a little bit of insight into their tech decisions.
You've watched their tape.
Yeah, you get a chance to watch their tape. They don't really have a chance to watch your tape. Do you feel like that gives you an advantage?
In terms of tech cards, you watch the VODs and you see what they played, so you just write that down. They probably have people, or they do themselves look at my VODs and see what I played. So it's kind of in terms of researching the other person. It's kind of we probably do the same amount, if not they do more because they have more people. If I knew what they were, knew if I was playing them beforehand, I can make a guess at what kind of decks they would bring, and I prepare for that. But overall, someone like Firebat is very intimidating because they're very less likely to make mistakes and stuff.
Mm.
And that just means I have to step up my game more and make sure I play as well.
Nice. So you're on a team, and you've also been known to help other people in tournaments. So can you tell us a little bit about the kind of coaching aspect in a professional setting that you've been involved in?
In terms of like when I help other people get ready for tournaments, like people on my team or people in a practice group, it's usually a lot of like I guess like theory crafting, trying to see what the possible meta is, like seeing what decks are the strongest right now and whether or not we want to bring the best decks or just want to create a lineup that has a strategy of being favorable against certain decks. So like a lot of theory crafting. When it comes to like playing a deck and make yourself like tournament ready with it,
Mm-hmm.
like we do a lot of like play testing or playing on ladder, and we're all like in a call and like we discuss plays and like try to see which one's the best line. So just having all those people at once, like we can see which is the best method, or just get other perspectives in it.
Yeah.
So
I also have found that when I think Alec from Golden Wisp was here and we were talking about it, even just talking with one other person about one play kind of opens your eyes, because it's like 4 sets of eyes looking at the same problem, and it helps everybody to see things that they might not have seen. So it's interesting that you guys do that on a professional level with like 4 or 5 people on one call, you say?
yeah, I mean it could be just maybe 2 people or 3, but yeah, it could be as many.
Interesting. So let's see. How are we doing on time? Let's
3 minutes.
Oh, I'm going to take a look at the cookies. I'm going to take just a peek, just a quick peek.
All right, so I'm going to step in here.
Okay,
Go step over here, and chat room has a question.
Sure.
NYC Micah wants to know favorite legendary, favorite class.
Favorite legend, definitely Archmage, Antonitis, and Mage. Mage is was my first golden class, and I love Archmage Antonitis because it's kind of like the Dark Magician of Hearthstone, basically. Like that's like a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, but like I always thought the card was awesome. It was my first legendary.
Oh, so that's sentimental too.
It's just I felt like this.
Yeah, I have been burned, although that's kind of an interesting way to say burned, but I've definitely been burned by fireball to fireball, getting a fireball to fireball, and it once the momentum goes, it goes.
Yeah.
Cookies are almost done.
About the right size?
A little smaller. Make them like a small, cute. Imagine a cute meatball in a meatball shop.
Okay.
That's the size of cookie.
Awesome, man. Yeah. This is
All right, so where were we here? We talked a little bit about patron change. You said what your okay, so let's skip that. So, what has been your favorite Hearthstone moment?
My favorite Hearthstone moment.
We could guess.
We can guess what it is, but do you have one that maybe is different than that one?
Probably the best moment in my whole Hearthstone career was when I won ESL. Like,
Right.
it's just like
Yeah.
it was a big deal. Like I was like, that day I was just happy to like get through groups, because my group had a life coach, Soundstorm, who won the first ESL one, and the Rat, who's like an insane patron player.
Yeah.
So like I was just happy to get through groups, but then like playing those,
That's your alarm.
it was just like a crazy day, because each of my series went down to 3-2. So
wow.
each one was closer, and then I had to play Reynad in the finals, who is one of the
Yes.
one of the most recognizable figures in Hearthstone. So I was definitely like, the whole time I was just thinking I was a huge underdog in almost every series. So, and I was able to get matchups I wanted and get a little lucky with my draws. But yeah, winning that, it felt so good. Like,
Yeah. That's a nice flight home too.
Yeah.
That's a relaxing flight home.
yeah.
no
Very
regrets.
cool. What is your ultimate goal in Hearthstone, if you have one?
My ultimate goal. So I'm relatively satisfied with what I've done so far. Winning winning pretty much a premier Hearthstone tournament. getting on a team that I really like. Being able to stream and like getting to know all these like other top pros and being recognizable. So in terms of what I've come to Hearthstone, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Also, like traveling to Europe and stuff, like being able to do that and play tournaments was really awesome. Since like those events, I was basically like my team covered and stuff. So like it's just like traveling around the world is nice. So I mean,
You've done a lot.
yeah, I've done a lot, and
Your dance ticket, your dance card has been punched?
Dance card is full.
It's full.
I guess the one thing I haven't done is gone to BlizzCon, which I unfortunately fell short. But
Yeah. You were close, though. We were rooting for you, and you were close.
Yeah.
We were watching that live.
Yeah.
I have a kind of a follow-up question that maybe might zero in a little bit more.
I'm going to switch with you.
Oh, switch with me? Okay. So, going with Sasha, because you touched on it, but I want to dig a little bit deeper. The fact that you say that you're a professional, which I think is awesome, because ever since I was little, all I wanted to do is play video games professionally. What is your next step as a professional? Like, what is the next goal you have to be able to become the next Trump? I mean, is that your goal? Is to become the next top dog?
I mean, to get to like maybe more like higher level of like your brand in Hearthstone, it's like streaming consistently and be like building your viewer base, which I haven't really done because I don't know, I don't enjoy streaming as much as I enjoy playing tournaments and stuff. So I just want to play in as many Hearthstone tournaments as I can, play qualifiers and stuff, like, and you know, go to another LAN and stuff. Like that's what I really enjoy as a Hearthstone professional, because the streaming part is sometimes fun, sometimes nice, but what I enjoy competition, and like
Awesome.
just being put in situations where I have to like play the best and like being pressured and like people are watching and stuff. So I'm looking for just any more opportunities in that in the future.
So if I can piggyback on that, last week the Rat wrote a blog post. Did you see it?
Yes.
And his contention, and it was kind of directed at Frodan and some of these other big tournament heads, that BlizzCon points were earned via winning in these tournaments. Tons of these tournaments were invite only. Somebody like you, had you not won ESL, probably would not have been invited, right? You know, top legend players, the people, you don't really hear about people making top legend and getting invited to these 16-man or 32-man competitions. Do you feel like there's something in the way BlizzCon points are given out that should, you know, swing the other way to help people that aren't going to be top streamers and that aren't established personalities get a better chance at gaining Hearthstone points next year?
I mean, the invites, like competitively, the invite system is not fair because like these players are probably as good as the ladder player, but they're getting invited. But you can't really fix that because like at a big event, viewers want to see like these big names. So like you have to invite players that are gonna get viewers, like Life Coach, like Trump and stuff. So it's not fair competitively, but it's like kind of a necessary evil in order for these events to actually happen.
Okay.
But I mean, like the point system is like if you look at the standings, like most of the top like people who are in like top 23, most of them earn them through ladder. There are some people who won a tournament like me and got a lot of like points for that. But the way the system is that a lot of the top people who were like in the standings were getting them through ladder. So it seemed like the tournament system wasn't like that much of a competitive disadvantage for just the ladder people. And plus those invited tournaments, they have qualifiers. Like people like me who played a qualifier was able to get to the LAN event. So like all these tournaments that are invited people, they're getting other people. They're getting like people who are unknown a chance to play against these known people. So so I didn't really have an issue with I guess the unfairness, because that's just how it is. Like that's just how tournaments are needed to run in order to be like financially viable and stuff.
So you're not quite as salty as the rat.
Am I not?
It seemed like he was really upset in that blog post.
Oh, well, that was different though. He was talking about how like his article was talking about how like Frodan was talking about how like players aren't like they don't really show their emotion or like they're not like.
Well, that came out for sure.
I don't think. I mean, the rat's article wasn't really talking about like the problem with this point system or anything. It was like talking about the conquest.
It was like and these big names and that was I guess my takeaway from it. But you're totally right that he did talk about how Frodan said Frodan had a blog post that he wanted people to be more antagonistic towards each other and how he wanted the teams to have beef with each other. And then the rat said like, you know, people get punished for voicing their opinion.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, there was a like when he was at the event, he was talking about how like Grim Patron was like like pretty much like favored, if not like not too bad against Handlock. It's not a huge counter, and saying something like that would have like drawn a lot of attention, I guess. But like people wouldn't respect that opinion or something because like why should we listen to this guy? Like he's just this guy who claims he's the best patron player in the world. So like when Frodan was talking about how like people should be more like open about what their opinions in meta is, like it's not really a good idea for unknown players because like you need to like prove yourself in order to like these opinions to be more valid, or else people just think you're an idiot or like what this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
And there's a lot of rage.
And the rat turned out to be right about patron warrior being not that bad against Handlock and stuff, but like he didn't have any credibility basically and Frodan was talking about how like people who are known should say stuff like this to make themselves more like cooler and stuff, but like that's usually not a good path since like people won't listen to you and just think you're stupid and stuff like that. So but yeah, that's mostly what it is.
Yeah, it was an interesting blog post, and it was interesting that they went back and forth on Twitter all night, which was pretty interesting, and then into the next day. So my final question is, you're a great streamer, and my favorite part about your stream is that you play great music and you sing along. Do you have a favorite slow jam?
A favorite slow jam?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty big Justin Timberlake fan.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I'm a big that guy's. I've been when I was younger, I had a babysitter who like loved boy bands and stuff. So I listened to a lot of Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Okay. That's like my first introduction to like the greatness of Justin Timberlake, basically. Like, I've always been a big pop guy and a little bit R&B, and you know, Justin Timberlake he just like a lot of his songs I really enjoy listening to.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thanks so much, and I think